Hey everybody, my name is Brian Baldwin and welcome to 770 Spatial Data Science. I'm really excited to be running the course this fall for all of us, and I've got a couple of things I just wanted to run through first as an introduction and getting you familiar with kind of how it's going to run this fall. So first off, a little bit about me. I'm running this and I teach some of these courses at RIT because honestly, I love this field. If you don't know what GIS is or are very familiar with geospatial data, hopefully you'll be familiar after this, or you will be familiar after we run through this course. And it's a field I've been involved in now for about 15 years or so. And it's something that I just love. And I love to get people excited about it and let them see kind of how they can take some of these skills and apply them to a field or area that you're interested in, and how you can use that down the road in your own career for whatever you want to do. I currently live in Boston, so I actually went to did my undergraduate in Geneseo. So went to Geneseo down south of all y'all, and ended up going to grad school at the University of New Orleans. And I've also taught for a number of years. So I've taught at RIT for a while, taught at Salem State, and then also the University of Wisconsin. And a couple of those times as well, I was living in those locations. So the main things I want to get across in this video is we don't have a ton of time. So as you know, this is an accelerated class. So it might feel like a lot of work at times, but remember, this is trying to jam an entire semester's worth of work into just about 6 or 7 weeks. One thing to be aware of, this is the first time this class is being run in this format. So we had an earlier course that was more of just a kind of GIS introduction and GI science course. And now we're starting to incorporate some more spatial data science methods into it. So there'll be a little bit of kind of getting you familiar with GIS, what maps and spatial data are, what that means, and then also some of the core fundamentals of data science. With all that being said, I see this kind of first run not as you being guinea pigs, but as us kind of working together to see what works, what doesn't, and help us kind of work together to pull together, an interesting class and course for all of us. Some of the goals for the class, I really see that as primarily being all of you understanding what spatial is and kind of how it differs from a traditional data science approach. I want you to walk away from this with some basics in GIS and also some intermediate skills in how you could massage data, analyze data, and also create applications to share information. And then I importantly want you to be able to have some skills and experience that you can bring to your field, bring to a job, or use kind of on your resume as you're starting to look for internships, etc. The structure of the course, as I already mentioned, and you're probably well aware, we have about 7 weeks. But what that really means is we have an introduction, we'll have a final project week, and in the middle, we have about 5 solid weeks of content. And each week will involve readings, will involve some discussions, will involve short quizzes, and the majority of the work will revolve around labs. So having kind of hands-on time to look at data, to do analyses, and really use these tools. For the logistics of the course, we're going to be using my courses for getting the outline every week and having every single week I'll post basically a website into my courses that'll give you a run through everything we're going to be doing for that week. And prior to that week, every Sunday I'll send out an email which gives you some updates on what's coming, what we're going to be doing for the week, and just a reminder to go check out my courses that we just have a new posting up there. I'll be doing the same thing in Slack. So I've tried this in the past and this has been really successful. So I will be inviting you to Slack, and we'll have an official kind of class Slack group. If you haven't used Slack in the past or you don't know what it is, it's a application, a tool for having conversations, discussions, and it's used all over the place. And many of you might use it for work or have used it in the past. And it's used a lot of times by development teams and data science groups. It's a really nice way to kind of have discussions and have information kind of in one place. So if you haven't used it, hopefully you enjoy it. And then lastly, what kind of software are we going to be using? So we're going to be using some tools from Esri, ArcGIS Online, ArcGIS Pro, a number of other tools, which are some of the leading kind of GIS geospatial tools. Caveat with that, which I forgot to put at my Who Am I intro piece, I also work for Esri on the side. So my full-time day job is working for Esri as something called a solution engineer. And so that's using these tools, using this software to work in higher education. And the other tools we're going to be using are Python, which are notebooks. Some of you might have used Jupyter notebooks in the past. We'll also be looking at Google Earth Engine, and then there'll be a number of other tools that we'll be starting to introduce and look at throughout this limited amount of time we have together. Getting in touch with me. So at any point, if you need to reach out, I would highly recommend reaching out on Slack. And typically try to reach out with about 24 hours before you really need something. So if there's a deadline, or if you're not able to get an assignment in, or if something is coming up, just reach out and let me know. I'm very flexible. You can also reach out to me by email. And this all goes to say, if you need to talk personally and you want to set up a call or set up a web meeting, just reach out to me via Slack or email. If you're struggling with a lab or you need some additional help, we can certainly do that. And in the past, I had dedicated office hours, but really it always just turned into me kind of sitting on my computer eating lunch, and no one ever showed up. So if you want to get in touch, just reach out via Slack or email. So that's everything. I'm going to be posting a lot of things soon. Please go review the syllabus. Always make sure you're kind of reviewing and looking at the full outline that will get posted in my courses. That's got all of the details of everything we're going to be doing throughout the semester. And then lastly, I'm really excited to run through this with all of you. There's going to be a lot of new things we're all going to be learning together. So sit tight, and we're about to kick off Spatial Data Science.